Now that we're recording,
You have to go?
All
Okay,
right.
see ya.
Bye, man.
no.
It's really great talking to you.
Hi, YouTube. It's me, TopSpinTheFuzzy. And with me are my friends, Lythero and TaiCheesy. Yahoo! And today, we're talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh no.
It'll be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
How we're gonna start this out is I'm just gonna go over my experience leading up to the game, right? So Final Fantasy VII, like the original one, is like my favorite game ever made of all time. So when it was announced initially that there was a remake, I fucking lost my mind.
We all lost our minds. The whole world lost its collective minds.
It was bananas. And yeah, just every day after that, I just went out looking for any sort of update. Just perusing the internet for anything, like a crack fiend. I was like, bruh, you got any news? Please. Just give me anything, man. Please.
You got a no game info, hit me up.
Yeah.
I was the opposite. I was abstaining as hard as I could from any information whatsoever until I got chucked into it against my will.
What?
So in 2019, I was finally able to show up for E3's last ever year, and I had a blast. It was fantastic. I was going all over the place, going to as many booths as I could. And I know E3 is not as good as it used to be, but I still had an awesome time. And then I bumped into Maximilian, and he was like, yo, and I was like, yo, and he was like, so enough small talk. Have you played Final Fantasy VII Remake? And I was like, no. And he grabbed me by the shoulder and said, you better go do that. Right now, I'm like, oh shit, okay then.
Damn, that's serious business.
And this wasn't a game that you could just play. You had to wake up early enough for the E3 gates to be open and then rush in like a bunch of feral animals just to get into another line that's about as long as the line to your mom's house, to get a ticket just to have the right to walk into another line to play the game. And it wasn't a regular booth with scantily clad ladies that we used to refer to as booth babes. Instead, Square Enix rented out 10,000 square feet to build a train station in Midgar, along with a Shinra-themed power plant that was billowing out smoke. And instead of booth babes, it was patrolled by Turks, and they were fucking cool. They were also in character. They were being shitty to everyone in line, and whenever it was my turn, I tried to say something like, yeah, I caught him. And then she looked up, ignored me, went back to counting the tickets before snapping it out of my hand without saying a word, then went to the next guy, took his ticket, and thanked him politely. It was fucking hilarious. And that's why I expected Final Fantasy Remake to be the best video game ever.
Wow.
Yeah, that was basically my reaction when the demo finally came out publicly, and I played that. It was fucking mind-blowing.
You could feel it being the pinnacle.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. What about you, Ty?
Where for me, I was just like, I should play the original, And then it came out.
And you had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
I've only played little snippets or watched most other people play the originals, but I knew of its gravitas.
Yeah.
Sure.
Already a fan of Nomura from everything else I've played of his. So,
Fair enough.
was looking forward to it.
We were mentioning the final boss's name already. This is crazy.
Fucking Nomura-san. Man, he wasn't bad. For a while, he was not bad. And then, I don't know what happened. He got on that Disney juice and lost his fucking mind.
I am curious to know if it's because he only had a very small involvement in the earlier works. I believe he was an artist at the first stage, concept artist, design artist for Final Fantasy VII, and then he got more roles and he got his clutches on more stuff. And then that's now just Nomura's always been the same Nomura that he has been from the start. He just got more positions, or did he just get more crazy over time?
Yeah, that's a good question.
From maybe the responses or the backlash. I don't know. I wonder how he feels about his work. I'm surely he likes what he does. He seems to be in a different reality to everyone else, at the very
He
least.
sure does.
Because I can't keep up with him. I'm gonna be real.
But then again, so does the entirety of Square Enix. Square Enix is bizarre. They live in their own little world
Yep.
where nothing seems to make any sense.
It's a Final Fantasy verse,
Yeah. And then when the game actually did come out,
Unfortunately, Final Fantasy VII had a rough transition into 3D.
it did. But before we move on, I'm going to start with things I did enjoy. And really, it boils down to basically seen the world and the characters done pretty well. A lot of the characters it's so early in the story that you don't get development on like anybody.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really say from that perspective.
We're literally getting new characters like introduced near the end of the game.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I mean, a bunch has happened to them by that point. But in the overall arc of the whole story, like practically nothing has happened to them. So it's hard to say anything about them as characters.
What are you talking about?
What?
Barrett died. Spoilers.
That was...
You got better, though.
That was the weakest excuse to fucking kick a character out of a boss fight I've ever seen.
I think you'll find it is the strongest excuse for someone to not be in your team because they fucking died. Like, I don't know.
Listen, there's no better reason to be out of a boss fight than you die. But from a writing standpoint, they're like, we gotta get Barrett out of here. He's dead. Okay, well, he's back now, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Sure. Whatever, man.
What's crazy is I actually didn't like put two and two together. I just thought they just randomly killed him and then unkilled him. And then it wasn't until you told me, oh, they did that to keep him out of the party.
They literally could have just had him leave the fucking room.
They could have said like there was an orphan outside that needed help.
Yeah.
They literally make up bullshit excuses throughout the game to make people go away afterwards. And before that, anyway.
Yep.
Exactly.
It happens all the time. They could have made something up, but they didn't.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, wouldn't be funny.
But then you get to the, like, just a couple scenes later, and fucking Cloud is about to throw down with Rufus, and everybody leaves anyway.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That whole section in there was fucking bizarre.
We accidentally just jumped into like complaints about the end as opposed to continuing to explain what you enjoyed about the game. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's very difficult to not do that.
Yep.
In fairness. Okay, another thing that I did really like was like fleshing out of the plot. Like they padded out a bunch of the plot beats, but it didn't feel like it was done in a way that was literally just padding it out. It was like elaborating on it in a way that made a lot of sense in a lot of areas.
Sure.
Like a situation where with Cloud you go back up to the top of the plate with Jesse, Wedge, and Biggs. I felt like that made a lot of sense, and it expanded on their characters a lot, and it felt very natural to me. It also gave us Roche, who's a great character.
Yep. No, I agree. I hear a lot of people absolutely despise that character. That character has no wit on the plot whatsoever.
Nope.
And I was all for it, honestly. Because I wanted more of that nonsense. As opposed to them, like, wrestling with what was already there.
Yeah, but, like, he works in the story, though. Because we don't really have any soldier characters in the original, aside from, like, the key ones. But now we have one who's really fun and weird.
They're all psychos. They're all absolute psychos. So I'm glad that they kept with that theme, too.
Oh yeah, all the soldiers are fucked.
Just this wannabe Dante on a bike going, woohoo, yippee!
No, he was great. That section was really fun. And like the whole thing with Hojo sticking you into the weird, all the labs and shit. I don't know, that made sense.
The dungeon.
You know?
As long as we didn't get stuck in the crossbreeding jar he tried to put him in, the original.
Yeah, that was pretty weird. But yeah. I thought the way they expanded on a lot of plot beats was good. In most cases, but not all. Do you guys have anything else positive that you'd like to add?
I think it is amazing what they did to balance the combat for both people who were expecting turn-based and for the people who are like, give me more action now. I want to see the big sword do the big cool thing. They did very, very well. I don't think I would change that much about it. Like, it's probably my favorite thing about this.
I find it very funny because I personally like thought it was weird, and then whenever you get used to it, I was like, yeah, no, this clicks. This is interesting, you know, and it keeps it like dynamic, and you got a sense of urgency because it's time-based ? But not really. But I saw multiple friends absolutely despise it, and then by the time they finished the game, they were like, actually, it's okay.
Yeah. It's really interesting because I don't know what it was about me in general, but it made sense to me immediately. I was like, okay, yep, let's do it. Let's go.
No, I liked it too. Also, Barrett looks cool as hell. Most of the characters look cool as hell. The environments look cool as hell.
Some of the NPCs don't really fit in the world.
No. Okay, which ones seemed out of place for you, actually?
So 2 key NPCs that stand out to me as feeling a little bit weird are Chadley and Kyrie. They just kind of don't look like they fit. They don't fit the aesthetic.
Not me looking up Chadley on Google.
He's the little fucking white-haired freak.
You know, a scouter boy.
Oh, that was the exact kid I was thinking of. No, yeah, he's annoying.
Yeah.
See, like, that's funny because some people would say, no, that's absolutely a Final Fantasy character right there. And I'm like, man, this kid ain't living up in the slums with his stupid freaking eye patch, like sci-fi Google Maps thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's not necessarily that he doesn't fit the world completely. He just doesn't fit Midgar.
No, I agree. I'm trying to think of anything else I like before we move on.
I liked when it ended.
The music. I really like the music.
Oh, yeah.
I really like the music a lot. Like, it was, I don't know, I heard complaints that some songs didn't fit some areas. I didn't really care. Most of it was a bop. Really good dynamic music. Like, whenever you're, like, walking around, music's got a chiller vibe, and then you go into a battle, and it keeps going, but it's got, like, a higher BPM, and it speeds up, and I'm like, oh, that gives me the endorphin boost. Oh, yeah, I like that. Dynamic music fucks.
Fuck yeah.
I actually, so my highlight of like the whole game was just playing against Reno.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I for some reason, like that's like when the controls of the fighting finally like really clicked and the music was hyping up, and I was like, this just rocks. This is cool. I'm having a really good time right here in this specific isolated moment.
Yeah, no, that fight was cool as fuck. I agree.
Hey, real quick.
What's up?
Favorite materia? I just want to say, shoutouts to the Perry materia.
Oh, parry materia is good. I like Deadly Dodge a lot. I used it all the time.
Got a fave, Lee?
Yeah, Lee. What's your favorite materia?
Bro, I don't use fucking magic.
Some of them aren't magic, really.
Give me a blunt object, a sharp object, a long object, I'll just bludgeon with that. This is why whenever I went to play hard mode, I literally got soft locked because I didn't invest any time into like any of the materia. So the Hell House was just undefeatable for me because I couldn't go back to level up anything. And I couldn't do enough damage to outdo its healing factor at the end of the fight.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That's on me, I guess, but also, holy shit, I couldn't go back and level up. That sucks. That was a huge oversight in my opinion.
Dude, Hell House in hard mode is such fucking bullshit. It spits out real tonberries and they can kill you instantly. Hell House sucks.
I liked Hell House. Whenever it was normal and I could just kill it.
It was funny.
It's funny that they made a little bad guy a full boss, and it was so absurd that they were able to crank it up to 11.
But it goes on so long.
Sure, you're wrong. Or sorry, no,
Nah, fuck you. No, you're wrong, bitch. Shut up.
That's so weird. I really meant to say you're right, but my soul apparently corrected me. Holy shit. Clearly I feel some way about Hell House. That's wild.
Hell House rules. That said, I rarely ever use magic myself. I only did it when I really needed to.
Hypocrite.
But to make up for that, I always made sure to have elemental materials equipped to somebody.
You gotta have one. I really liked having Cloud always be my lightning guy.
Yeah, I did the same.
And then Barrett with fire, and then Wind and Ice were on anybody else.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right, that's all the nice things that we could possibly put together.
Yeah, now everything else is terrible. So,
Now burn it down.
shall we start with the most glaring one, or work our way up to it?
You know what? It kind of goes into everything else.
That's true. So, the fucking time-traveling ghosts. What the fuck with that?
Bootlegged Dementors.
They couldn't have chosen any other model. It's just a little Dementor guy. Make something else up. What?
For real, they're so late. I'm sure this was intentional. But because of the way they were designed, I thought they were going to be some kind of analog for the Sephiroth clones.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah, right? Because we even have Mr. Man, what the fuck was his name, as Cloud's neighbor with the black robe and shit.
Yeah.
And then you see the spooky ghosts, and they kind of look similar because they're robe-shaped, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But no, it has fucking nothing to do with that.
Just did something else with them instead.
It's just some other stupid thing. And it like, I was saying this on our group chat before briefly, but I had reapproached my thoughts on the game from the perspective of it being a sequel rather than it being a retelling of the original. And that only marginally improved my opinion of the game, and thus these things. They're just so shit, and they're utilized so poorly. It's just so strange. They're so bizarre. Like, they get in your way for not even defying fate, which is what they're supposed to do, I guess.
Yes.
But just for, like, making decisions that you would just normally make.
And even just with their own little cheeky shit. Like, some things, unexplainable. Like, just little actions. Like, why are... If they're going to be used as a plot device, then why are they doing little things like that? Like,
if Claude gets full fat instead of half and half, bam, ghosts in the fridge. Fuck you, Claude.
That's what I'm saying. The ghosts getting in the way of the crew when they're trying to make their way back to the plate to save everyone. And it's like, are you telling me that, according to fate, they were supposed to not give a shit?
That is actually a very valid fucking point that I never thought about. Lamau.
Because they try to stop them from getting there. It's like, you're telling me that they weren't supposed to try to do that.
then why were they there?
What the fuck do you mean?
Just make up something else.
The ghosts are literally developers saying, we don't have time.
Yeah.
Moving on. We don't have the funds for this section of the video game.
So you're just gonna fight these things and then just go on to the regular plot. That's literally all it is. It's just like, you're fighting this and then the plot continues.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm probably jumping the gun, but like the way everything's going to shit and the way the ghosties are flying all over the place, and then Tifa looks around and they're showing low resolution flashes of Advent children in the background, and Tifa grabs the camera, looks in the camera and says, "Oh no, gamers, have we seen this before? Oh no, what do we do, gamers?" And I think I almost snapped my PlayStation controller in half.
No, I feel that.
So like I'm so genuinely okay with a what if story.
Yeah.
Sure, just stop like cramming the ghosts everywhere. It's so silly. It's very Japanese storytelling in like a lot of their like anime and video game media, and to be as indifferent as possible about it, it's definitely not for me. I find it very I don't like saying the word, but I unironically cringe.
No, I totally agree. They're just so forced. They're extremely, extremely ham-fisted. And the things that they use them to do just make no sense. Like, here's another example. So after you go up to the plate with Jesse and the gang, right? You have that whole bonding moment with them. And, you know, Cloud remembers his promise to Tifa and whatever. At that moment, he has literally no reason not to help them. But they decide to use the ghosts not to do anything substantial, but to fucking push Jessie down the damn stairs.
Whoa, hold on. She's got like one more HP than she's gonna have later on. Hold on, let me just go. Pah! All right, we're good. How much for that? Oh, that was 6. That was a little too much.
Yeah, instead of, you know, just having Cloud agree to go with them, because he would.
Hey, he can be all tsundere about it or whatever, but he probably would.
He would have, yeah. He would have, like, said some stupid shit about being, like, the last payment wasn't enough, I need to do another job with you guys or something.
I guess I'll help if I have to, Baka. You better be paying for this.
And then in the church, when Cloud's about to kill Reno, and Aerith is like, no, please. What option do you have then? You have to leave. But instead of doing that, they just have the ghosts push them away.
They're like, stop thinking about this.
Stop it!
In their futile attempt to try and avoid an awkward conversation, they make the situation so much more awkward by just shoving everyone out of the fucking scene.
That's what they do all the time, though. They literally just use them as scene transitions. And it's so strange. It doesn't feel natural at all.
Whenever Wedge is like just chilling somewhere and the ghosts are like, nah, you need to chill here, actually. Yeah. And it changed nothing. Like literally nothing.
No.
And any storyteller, any director, since, you know, some people didn't have the title of story writer, they had the title of director instead. That's okay. They're in charge of this stuff too. Would try and argue like, oh, actually, the reverence in this is that, you know, shut up. Just write it better.
Just take any time to figure out what your characters would actually do and then have them try to do it. Maybe they fail anyway, but they still actually try to do it.
I would rather more made-up, stupid, ham-fisted reasons to get people out of your party right before action kicks up after a cutscene again. Just keep doing that.
I would have been okay with Barrett winning the lottery and popping off too hard that he had a bit of a stroke and fell over.
He's like, oh, fuck yeah.
I can finally buy Marlene the pony. I hate it. Oh!
And then the ghosts bring him back because he's not supposed to die.
Yeah. So, like, if our party just, like, leaps off a building, will the ghosts, like, pick them up?
Presumably.
I think so.
Why not dial it up to 11? Why have invisible walls anymore where you can't jump off a cliff and, you know, kill yourself? You just have the ghosts pick you back up, like, in-game, in real time.
Yeah, whatever.
Why do we get game overs? Why aren't the ghosts helping me that one time whenever I got turned into a frog in a fight? Huh? This game's dumb.
Oh, wait, here's another thing. First of all, I was slowly checking out over the course of the whole game, but literally as soon as the cutscene happened with Red 13 saying that they're the arbiters of fate, I checked all the way out. I was done.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, never mind. That means that every single person in this world who was ever, like, kidnapped and murdered, that was just supposed to happen.
Yep.
Oops.
Sorry. GG.
Listen, TopSpinTheFuzzy, you cannot grasp the writings of the higher power in this universe, okay?
It's true.
Those kids needed to be orphaned. It was really important to the plot.
It was integral to the future of the planet, which, by the way, the planet apparently just wants to fucking kill itself.
You should kill yourself now.
Okay. So, here's a good... My cat is screaming. I'm sorry. If you could hear that.
I know. Poor thing. It just wants to be involved. Like, I hate Final Fantasy VII.
He does.
Full of beans.
It's randomly cold here for some
That's
reason.
weird. That's probably not good.
Global warming. The Mako's getting sucked out.
No, for real though. If ever there was a time in history where we needed the fucking pro-environment message.
That's,
Oh, man.
that's why they wanted to start it now, actually. It's not because they were afraid someone else was going to make it first. They just really wanted to talk about the environment.
Yeah, and then they got fucking way too high and forgot about it.
And started thinking about ghosts instead.
Dude.
Dude, what if, like, the planet, like, made ghosts?
Oh my god.
Wouldn't that be, like, crazy?
Actually, it's not the ice caps melting. It was Casper.
Oh, shit. Casper. Was that a... Did I just hear a cork?
No, you didn't hear anything of the sort.
Yeah, we're drinking now.
We just talked about Final Fantasy VII a little bit too much. I couldn't help myself.
I understand.
Alright, hold on. I'll get my shots too.
Okay, so getting back on track a little bit. Weird pacing issues at some parts. You know, like the train graveyard.
Yeah, which I liked. I liked that part. But holy shit. Did you have it anywhere else?
This is right after you face off with Don Carneo and you learn that the plate is going to fall. And so you go through the sewers and this like tense situation trying to get to the plate in time. And then you get to the train graveyard and the tone shifts completely and you're dealing with ghosts.
Yep.
And it's like, that's not even bad necessarily. But first of all, you go through all that and you fight the big ghost and then you go through a little bit more and then you fight some other fucking thing and I don't even understand what it is.
Like, dude, we're just trying to get home.
Just another big monster in the area, whatever.
No, we needed to take the spooky shortcut to get home in time.
But you know what bothers me most about this is they literally have a side quest right after this major plot beat about kids going missing and ghosts.
Yeah, what the hell?
They literally could have had this be a major side quest instead of breaking the pacing.
That could have just been like the end of that like side quest.
Yeah. Instead of having a side quest with a near identical premise, but absolutely no fucking substance at all, they could have taken that out and put it there.
That's one of those times where that might have been the intention. They might have just made that really fun side story. And then sometimes the directors are like, I can't bear to have the player miss this content. We got to put it into the critical path, which is always a shame.
Sure.
So if you put in like non-essential, very interesting side stories with like little cutscenes and interactions like that, that makes me like your game so much more. Because that makes me want to explore. It tricks me into exploring more. I'm literally okay with being bamboozled and tricked into playing your game for a longer amount of time and exploring everything because I know there's going to be like nuggets of good content to find on the side. And then your main story like is better as a result. It's less full of like filler.
Padding is not your friend.
Agreed.
Not mine. Definitely not mine. I have work to do. I gotta get back to work. Whatever if someone says like, oh, just play this game, it's only gonna be 57 hours long. And I'm like,
It's too many hours.
can I have a 10 or 15 hour long game? I'll deal with a 20-hour-long game at most times, sadly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I could be labbing. I could be getting better combos.
Exactly.
Speaking of this same section, where the hell did the plate go?
Dude, where the fuck is the plate? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Where the fuck is it?
The ground ate it.
It falls, right? And then you go to look for survivors, which is like, okay, sure, that makes sense. I mean, you would do that realistically, right? Mm-hmm. No matter how slim of a chance there was. But you go in there, and you don't see fucking anything of the upper city. Like, literally nothing. You see the destruction of some of the buildings, but they're remarkably intact. Then later, when you're climbing the plate, you can't see the fucking ground. So where the fuck is it?
Ghosts.
I remember hitting that scene, and I thought I was in a different place when I was able to see, like, the top down and when it was going through some cutscenes that were showing the area. And because there wasn't nearly as much debris as there should have been there, I was like, oh, I guess I'm in a new area now? Okay. I only realized it after climbing with Barrett and Deepa. I was like, oh. Like, I usually have a good sense of direction, but in the fucking video games, like this, I don't know where the hell I was most of the time.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't know where I am right now.
Damn, they got him, chat.
This is my body enforcing self-defense because we're talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm trying to disassociate.
I understand.
It's okay, you could go to another dimension. In the dimension where the Final Fantasy Remake is, you know, exactly as you would expect.
Like, you can't even say good, right? So here's a disclaimer. We're all talking about this game because we actually, like, really like some aspects of it.
Yeah.
So good.
That's the infuriating thing about Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's not a bad game, and it's not a great game. It is a game that has the potential to be the best game, but man, there's some stuff in there that really annoys us.
It has parts of it that are absolutely immaculate, like beautiful, and then it has parts that are just bogged down by weird decisions. It's like, you didn't have to do this. You really didn't, and it really just is a huge detriment to the overall product.
It's a game that came out, was destined to be a 9.
Minimum.
At minimum. And came out and it was kind of more like a salty 7.
Yep.
When it really should have been a 12, 13. It should have broke the scales.
My favorite part of the announcement, there's a bunch of game reporters sitting around a table, and they're like, wow, that new Call of Duty is looking great. Isn't that right, Joey? That's right. What about you, Samantha? Yeah, that's super. I love Call of Duty. Final Fantasy VII Remake, and they literally start jumping up and down like apes, throwing their chairs. And, and the one poor lady in the conference room is like, where am I? How do I get out of here?
Yeah.
We love Final Fantasy VII. Like, it was so weird. It's not the perfect game, but it's very fucking charming.
Yeah.
And super imaginative, and all of the weird shit that happens. And I don't know about the plot. It's okay. It's interesting. It's kind of like,
It's got the bones of a good plot.
Yeah.
It just needed to be fleshed out more, and that's it. It just needed to be fleshed out more.
more duct tape, you know?
But
But
instead,
they like, I want to hear your metaphor. What did they do instead, actually?
I was gonna be real simple. They just shoved this bitch way too full of glue.
Yeah.
They were filling some space. I want to hear your metaphor, though. I'm so sorry I cut that off.
I don't know. I would have to think of it on the spot. Dude, they just shat on it. I was really angry about how hard Sephiroth got plastered all over the game from start to finish. Like, we should not have seen anything more than, at most, a flashback of him. And even then, I would have preferred to see nothing at all.
Yeah.
Like, this is an inherent problem with it being like a parter game, like a first parter to a multi-series of a full game being like repackaged, because Sephiroth should not be there.
Remember in Chapter 2, where they make you walk slowly for 4 minutes just to see him in an alley and then walk out? What a fucking waste of... What? Dude!
But another one was like when you're in that weird underground lab and you see the like test tubes with the humans in it, and then Cloud gets his weird flashback headache or whatever. He gets his encephalitis.
Plotolitis.
Yeah, and then you're like, okay. Like, even if you've never seen anything Final Fantasy VII before, that happens and you have some idea of what has happened to him, right? Like, you have an inkling. And that's way too soon. It's way too fucking soon.
I'm glad you mentioned the headaches, because Marcus was like, these ghosts are dumb, and what they should have done is, if they want to keep on having a conflict of plot lines between the original and the new one, all they had to do was have Claude have like a plot hole migraine every time things were going wrong, and then that would help guide them to where they need to go, because Claude's getting weird fucking flashbacks and flash forwards no matter what. That would be much more palatable than having spooky ghosts. Like,
I mean, it would have also just fit in with something that was already there. Like, that happens to Cloud regardless.
yeah, that's part of that's part of the live stream. You know, the Mako's like messing with Cloud's head to try and like fix like the timeline or whatever. That is at least much more bearable than Fate.
You could also even go as far as to put the ghosts in fucking Cloud. You could just make up some, like, go really hard on it and just make up some reason why Cloud also has some of them coming out, and it's also related to his flash forwards and backs, like anything. But they just come out of nowhere and they slap everybody.
It's true. It's crazy.
It's not everybody, and then nobody talks about them every time.
I know.
It doesn't really matter.
Well, that happened. Anyways, back to my conversation about postage stamps.
So I guess I could see those things that I couldn't see before. Well, weird. I was meaning to say this at the start. I have now played a good chunk of the original up to about the point that the start of the game, the intro sequence, does not hit nearly as hard as the intros does. Like the OG. It's weird, but I don't feel anything for the intro at all for the remake watching it.
Oh, the like opening cutscene thing?
Yeah, the hype from it and the music hitting doesn't do shit for me.
Damn.
But watching it in the original and how much slower it's paced, but it's like it fits with the vibe of the music better. Like I don't know what it is. It's magic.
There's a weird kind of disconnect in the physical prowess of Cloud between some of the action sequences. Like when you're playing and you're going around and throughout the normal story, he's more or less just like got the physical abilities of a regular guy, you know?
Oh yeah.
I mean, a very athletic and strong regular guy, but, you know, a regular guy nonetheless. But then you get to the last boss fight and he's like flipping and cutting trains in half.
Yep.
But literally, just a little bit before in Hojo's lab, he couldn't cut down that fucking door.
Which was really funny, but mind you, I like that. That was
a perfect character moment for Cloud and Barret, and it was so small, but it was immaculate. That was beautiful.
what I would give for just more of those little moments throughout the game. I would have loved that.
That's what the gamers want, Squeenix.
That's what they wanted all along.
We want our stupid himbo and twink himbo pretending to be smarter than the other, and they're both just as dumb as rocks.
Yes.
The best thing to be remade in the remake, I think, is them going up the fucking stairs.
Oh.
That was so good. And I was like, why is this at the end of the game?
That shit's awesome.
Yeah.
So how about we talk about how we might have improved it a little bit?
Oh my god. Fix the materia menu. It sucks.
Yeah.
It's so bare bones for what you do with it and how often you go into it. Just give some loadout options or something. You have the brain power to make something.
How would you improve the video game TopSpinTheFuzzy?
So the first one we kind of already touched on, but it's just to get rid of the fucking time traveling ghosts, because they literally added nothing to the plot except for weird padding and inconvenience. You're telling me that it's really impossible for you guys to write a situation where Reno gets to the button and hits the button before Cloud and Barret and Tifa can stop him?
That was so dumb.
There's no way that you could do that? Here's an idea as to how to fix that scene in particular, just right off the top of my head, and it's probably not even the best option, but here you go. You finish the fight, and reinforcements arrive, and they keep the party pinned down while they go and finish that. Done.
Square Enix likes to have Reno and Rude like as the lovable, redeemable kind of character. That shit that they pulled is pretty irredeemable. So I would have at least had like one of them say, Rude, are we the bad guys?
I mean, Reno kinda does. He kinda does.
And they needed to do it a little bit more obviously for me, because I was like, damn, this is fucking whack.
It only happened once. And everything else, they're just like, well, another day on the job, huh? Ugh.
Meanwhile, they ask each other, hey, Rude, which girl do you like the most?
Tifa. He says Tifa.
That's
I
right, he
remember.
does. Oh my god, I can't believe he said that.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Because, that's the terrible opinion. It's clearly Aerith.
Clearly.
Here's the thing, though. Rude literally will not attack Tifa.
Oh, really? That's funny. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's in the remake, but certainly in the original, if your whole party goes down, but Tifa is still there and you're fighting Rude, he just won't attack you.
That's amazing. I'm gonna have to try that while I'm going through hard mode.
It's fucking hilarious.
I love little details like that in video games.
Right? Okay, sorry. Another one.
I'm also sorry.
Just the same idea, like keeping it even as just a sequel with Aerith having her like weird fucking dimension hopping or whatever. It just really didn't need the fucking whispers. It didn't need the planet's avatar. It didn't need any of that. Didn't need the planet being suicidal or nothing. She literally could have just used her magic ancient powers to try and correct the timeline. It didn't need that.
I'm like, oh, we're saving it for later though.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Like, it literally just, it's out of place. It's weird. It just feels bizarre every time the ghosts show up and do something, because it doesn't do anything.
You know, it would have been better if they were just like Mako gas. And nobody could see them. Aerith could only see them. We as the viewer and Cloud and everyone else couldn't see them. Because it would have been fine. It would look like someone's just casting wind magic everywhere, but like...
No, actually, even that is just way better. If they didn't have any sort of like identifiable corporeal form, even that is an improvement. It's crazy how little you need to make this idea better.
Yeah, because then it would actually feel like the faceless thing that is the planet's energy.
Yeah,
Mako.
right.
Like, or connected to the realm that is connected to destiny and all that shit as a whole.
Yeah. Oh my god. The idea of destiny or fate being a real, tangible thing in the world immediately puts me off of any story. Because it just completely undercuts any agency that any character has ever had in the history of that world.
It just makes me think of Eva. Everyone's clapping. Congratulations. You couldn't think of anything else. I can't believe it.
Yeah. Literally bare minimum. You came up with destiny and you put ghosts in to enforce it.
I would improve the game by doing it all over again.
Yeah, remake.
No. Keep all the parts. Throw out the script. Throw out the script, all the cool mocap you did for all those characters doing that shit. Throw it all out. But you got the models. You got the areas. Just do a little puppet dance over here for a couple of years with that stuff, and you know they'll have something good eventually.
No, it's okay. I'll do it. Final Fantasy VII Remake, but good. I'll just here. I'm opening up MS Paint right now. I'll make it better. Here we go.
Hell yeah.
You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about the fact that if you took every single cutscene and whatever from the game and cut them together into a movie and literally just like snip out all the parts of the whispers that you can snip out, it really doesn't even change anything.
Ugh.
Isn't that weird? Like, it really doesn't do much.
And nobody talks about them.
No, exactly. They never come up. They come up in one conversation ever. And that's literally only to tell you, the player, what they are.
Wait, maybe that's how they did it. They made the whole game, and they're like, all right, how are we going to tie it together? We already have the story, right? Let's just do that. And Norma was like, no, wait, hold on.
I was doing some ketamine, and I had this great idea.
I'm seeing shit in the ceiling, man. I'm going to put it in the game.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess.
Okay. One last nitpick. In Chapter 13, when you're playing as Barrett and you're shooting rocks out of the way, that shit takes too long. Why is his fucking Gatling gun take 10 full seconds to blast away just the pile of loosest rubble?
Great question.
That thing fucks up so much shit immediately in every other cutscene.
Yep.
Speaking of things that take way too long, that whole sequence where you're in the church trying to get away from the soldiers with Aerith, that is so slow-paced and weird. And again, it's because of the goddamn ghosts.
Ugh.
That literally would have been improved if it was just like a little stealth section where you play as Aerith.
I'll take a forced stealth section. That's fine.
I mean, if you have one, whatever.
Yeah, everybody's got one.
Yeah.
Just don't make an Assassin's Creed and we're good.
One last one, and I would be curious to hear your guys' opinions on this idea. The Genova boss fight in the office, cut that out and stick it at the end of the expressway. Instead of fighting Sephiroth, you fight a chunk of Genova there. And instead of it being a hallucination thing, you literally actually just fight a piece of her there. Because Sephiroth already has her, and in the original, you just hacks off bits of her to fight anyway. So, why wouldn't you just fight a chunk of her there as your final boss? Because then it's plot relevant and doesn't fuck everything up.
Yep.
And then you could have some of the cloaked guys reacting somewhere nearby, and then
Yes,
it would tie things in a little bit.
exactly.
There's nothing to like even discuss. Like, correct. And everyone clapped.
Yes.
Good suggestion. I'm so glad that's in the actual game.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wait.
Oh, you know, in some other world, that is the truth.
In the world where Zach Fair's alive, maybe that's what happened in that game.
Yeah, oh yeah. That shit really... how does Cloud's character arc work now?
It doesn't.
If Zach's alive, how does that work?
More migraines, I don't know.
Yeah, now just time paradoxes. Are there 2 Buster Swords now?
But like, this game is already so fucked up. I'm like, whatever. Just have Cloud and Zach go to the mall or something with their 2 Buster Swords. Like, I'll just play that. I don't care anymore.
I mean, I like Zach a lot as a character.
He's my favorite character, I think.
I do really enjoy him. But
He's like the only sane person in Nomura's world. And then like a random character will say some Nomura shit. And he'll be like, bro, what
the fuck are you talking about? So dumb.
Final Fantasy VII Remake is Zach Fair's Purgatory After Death. We cracked the code.
I'll take a shot to that.
Sure, why the fuck not?
You bro, cheers.
Cheers?
Bro?
Cheers?
Cheers.
Oh god, I just can't like how Cloud fucking he can't but God if Zach's alive then
But yeah, Genova should have been the final boss fight. And then Sephiroth should fuck off because he was so much stronger of a villain, being nowhere to be seen other than just piles of bloody bodies and monsters in the storytelling, like in the background, making him seem like the baddest motherfucker to ever exist.
No, yeah, like it did so much more to establish him as a powerful, imposing character when he was a myth and you just saw the aftermath of shit that he did.
Yep.
When you came into the president's office and the first time you're expecting to just have a confrontation with him,
Yep.
and he's just fucking dead.
Yep.
And you're like, oh shit.
Metal Gear Solid 1 bodies everywhere. Gray Fox murdered and shish kebabbed all of the staff against the wall. Oh my god. Like everybody stepped on a frost trap in Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege and decided to hobble into that corner and die. Dude, that is the one thing that they really could have improved in the original too. Like we're never gonna get there. It's gonna be like 2037 by the time we get part final or whatever. But like, because Sephiroth was bigged up so much and was so cool and so, oh my god, Sephiroth did this, like dunks the hoop into oblivion. The final boss is actually quite weak, despite the fact that he literally chucks the fucking sun at you. Like, they tried,
Yeah.
but in the remake, they could have like actually delivered like a really, really, really cool fight, which they did. Like, the final boss fight is cool in the remake. I'm like, this is cool, but this shouldn't be happening right now. I'm so mad for my plot. It's what are you fucking doing? It's like, Nomura, stop fucking the plot right in front of me. Like, let me like enjoy it properly. You're ruining it.
The boss is the plot. Kill it.
I mean, yeah, you're not even wrong.
Yeah.
The boss is literally the plot. Like, actually, unironically, literally.
It's crazy.
The ghost duplicate things were references to the remnant guys in Advent Children.
Sure.
And that was neat. I like Final Fantasy Advent Children a lot, despite the fact that I think it's objectively a really terrible movie. It's like one of my favorites.
It's fun. I enjoy it. I do think that its characterization of Cloud did irreparable damage to him, but
Yeah.
Irreparable damage! We're still recovering.
it doesn't even make sense.
No.
Like, literally, in the original game, he's very, like, all business at the very beginning, but there's good reason for that, because A, he's doing a job, and B, he doesn't know any of these fucking people, so why wouldn't he be? But he kind of opens up to them fairly early, and he's still, like, dry, but he's not a dickhead.
Nope.
And then he has literally one moment of him, well, maybe a couple moments of him being, like, not sure of who he is and, like, having his depressive episode.
In a wheelchair.
Yeah. But I'm talking after that. He has, like, a conversation with everybody, right? And he's like, I'm not actually this. I've learned that, and I'm sad. And then he's like, but I'm going to try my best anyway. So why the fuck would he regress 2 years later? Okay, so if you were to summarize how you feel about this game and your thoughts on what could possibly happen in the sequel.
Don't ask me, because obviously I wouldn't know. But I hope that at the very least, they go harder on it. And by that I mean the end of this next section, I hope it doesn't look anything like what the original did. And it's just going off in its own way. It'll make its own call-outs to shit that was in the original as it does, but it'll be less and less as time goes on. It'll be... I don't know. I want to see the plot, not plot, that they're throwing around. I want it to have character development throughout the series, if they're going to do anything. Because clearly the ghosts are here to stay.
Yeah.
So.
The further they distance themselves from the original, the less it'll hurt us.
Yeah.
So I agree.
So I do agree. I simultaneously agree and disagree, right? Because it's like, if you're going to go off the rails, then just go totally off the rails, right? Like, if you're gonna just do your own thing and go crazy with it, then commit to that and just do a whole new thing, whatever, just do it. But if they try to backpedal and go back to the original plot now, that's gonna be fucked.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how could you do that? You've changed so much. The only way they could do that is if they say the original plot is them defying fate. But if they do that, then what the fuck was the point of any of it?
I would love to be a fly on the wall, taking in the reactions of the dev team and the writers. I don't know. Surely they got some backlash about it. I'm really curious to know if they were just like, we did it, we cooked, it's so good, and then like everyone's like, what the fuck are these ghosts doing in my lasagna? And they're like, oh no, what do? We had like more ghosts ready. Should we change anything, boss? What have we done? Or are they all just sitting there like, nah, this is by Nomura's design?
Who knows? Fun fact though, I don't know if it's still the case, but at least for a while after Remake came out on the Canadian GameStop website, it was rated as 1 star.
Oh. Wow.
So it had enough of a negative impact that for at least a while on the Canadian GameStop website, it was 1 star.
Wow.
So unless you guys have anything to add, I think that's a pretty good place to wrap it up.
I'm sad, dude.
Yeah, me too.
It just hurts. It just hurts.
Yeah, it does. Square Enix is a terrible company. AI is bad. Don't give them your money. Have a great day, like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah. Don't get mad at us. We're just putting something to vent about our feelings about a game that we love. Like, nothing you can say will hurt us more than what Nomura did to us.
It's true. Everybody has an opinion. Ours is just the right one.
I'm sorry you had to hear it here first.
Nodding in agreement.
Nod sagely.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Oh, very good.